Make me a host, Shubham. Thank you. Right. So let me just give you the important points and then I will recap the topics which I have covered in variable. Okay. So take heading as important points about local variable. Take heading as important points about local variable. Important points of local variable. Then I'm going to explain you in detail about all these points. Important points about local variable. So you know that, right? So already I have given the definition of local variable. Important point about local variable. Number one, a variable defined slash declared. A variable defined slash declared a variable defined slash declared within a block of method within a block of method or constructor is called as local variable. Is called as local variable. Now don't worry, what is constructor? I'll going to explain you in my constructor topic. Okay, right. That's point number one. Point number two, I'm going to prove each and every point. Okay, like how I have explained you the points on static variable and instance variable. Likewise, I'm going to explain you about the local variable. Okay, right. Point number two, local variable is created. Local variable is created only local variable is created only when we call slash invoke. Am I audible clearly, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right. Local variables with is local variable. If it is singular, you should use is. If it is plural, you should use are. So if I say local variables, then it should be are. If I'm using local variable, then I should use is. Okay. Local variable is created only when we call slash invoke. Only when we call slash invoke the method in which it is declared. In which it is declared and destroyed once the method execution ends, and destroyed once the method execution ends. That's point number two. That's point number two. Point number three. The scope of a local variable. The scope of a local variable. The scope of a local variable exists only within that method. The scope of the local variable exists only within that method in which it is declared, the scope of the local variable exists only within that method in which it exists, full stop. If we try to access the local variable outside that method, if we try to access the local variable outside the method, if we try to access the local variable outside that method, then we will get compilation error. Now, don't worry, what is error, what is exception, what are the different types of exception? I'm going to teach you in my exception topic. Don't worry about that. Then we will get compilation error. That's point number 3. Point number 4. Listen to this point very carefully. We cannot use any access specifiers. We cannot use any access specifier. While declaring a local variable. We cannot use any access specifier while declaring a local variable. That's point number 4. We cannot use any access specifier while declaring the local variable. And the last point, is it mandatory to initialize the instance variable? Is it mandatory to initialize the instance variable?
No, sir.
Very good. What about static?
No, sir.
And what happens if I don't declare a variable? Sorry, what happens if I don't initialize the variable? Instance variable or local static variable? What happens if I don't initialize an instance variable or static variable? What happens?
Default value will be assigned.
For example,
int have assigned with 0, string was assigned with null.
Very good. Right. Point number 5. Initialization of a local variable is mandatory. Initialization of a local variable is mandatory. Initialization of a local variable is mandatory before using it in the defined scope. Initialization of the local variable is mandatory. Initialization of the local variable is mandatory before using it in the defined scope. Before using it in the defined scope. Taken everyone? All the points on local variable?
Yes, sir.
Initialization of the local variable is mandatory before using it in the defined scope. Right. Now, let me prove you one by one the points on or of local variable. As per the first point, a variable which is declared inside the block of method or inside the method body or constructor. Don't worry what is constructor. I'll go to explain you in constructor topic. Now my intention is to explain you local variable and its important points. A variable which is declared inside the block of method or inside the method body or constructor is called as local variable. Now, if you see the code, if you see the screen, I have a method called deposit amount. Inside this method body, I have declared a variable of type double, of data type double. What is that variable name? After deposit. Now, I can call this variable as a local variable. Why? Because I have declared this variable inside the method body of deposit amount. Similarly, if you see the second method, I have a method called withdraw amount. Inside this body of this method, I have declared one variable which is called after withdraw. After withdraw. Now I can call this after withdraw as a local variable. Why? Because I have declared this variable inside the method body of a method called withdraw amount. Am I clear? Am I clear with first point?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Second point. If you keep quiet, I'll also keep quiet.
Local variable is created
Likita,
only
wait.
when we...
Likita, wait. Let other open their mouth and then tell. And then read. Otherwise, I'll not take the session. If I'll come to know whether they are really interested to join the session or just for time pass they are coming. Because I don't have that much of time to sit and waste.
Local variable is created only when we call or invoke the method in which it is declared and destroyed once the method execution ends.
Guys, again I'm telling you, Ramana, okay, Gandhiraj, Bhargavi, Likita, Mahesh, Devrani, Nagraju, Srinivas, Suresh, Umesh, Venkatesh, Vijay. Again, I'm telling you, if you want to learn bookish knowledge, go and join some other institute. Because they'll just show the PPTs, they'll read from the PPTs, they'll give simple program like int a is equals to b plus c, system.out.println a. If you want to learn like that, go and join some other institute. If you really want to learn real time, come to iTask. And especially if you are coming to my sessions, it should be interactive. I should not be speaking every time. If you want to clear the interviews, if you want to put, what to say, projects and all those things, then it has to be interactive. I'm not going to unmute, okay, like other institute does, because I want everyone should be present mentally, physically in the session. It's not like that you are sitting somewhere and you're just attending the session and then switching off your, turning off your laptop or desktop and then going for sleep. Not like that. I want everyone should be present, okay, mentally to the session. I can call the names and I will ask the things and you have to answer it. If I see that you are not answering, I'll throw you out from the session. Right. So when the local variables are created, only when we invoke or call the method where it is declared and destroyed once the method execution ends. Correct? Right, everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right. Now, if you see here, I'll show the debug point. Okay, I'll show the debug point. As a developer, you should be knowing. Okay. So directly I'll jump to here. Okay. Then put the debug point here. 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 The debug point here. Put the debug point here and put the debug point here. Now, this deposit amount, withdraw amount, I have declared inside this business advantage plus account. Double click here, 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 double click here. Right. Now, go to your main class, main method class. Right click, debug as Java application. Switch. Okay. Right. Now, click on this green button. It will jump to the next breakpoint. Okay. Right. So this account one object is storing the data of customer Gandhi. Okay. Again, I'll keep it here and I'll keep it here. Account two object is storing the data of customer Priya. Right, everyone? Correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right. Account three object is storing the data of customer Ravi. Right. Now, let's go for the method. Okay. Now, Gandhi is performing the action called deposit amount, or in other way, I can say that I'm calling the deposit amount on the object called account one. So for account one, with account one, I'm calling deposit amount. That means this method is called, correct? On account one object, correct? Right?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Method is called on account one object. Now click on this green button. First, it will display all the details. See here, account number, Gandhi, Pune branch, Pune city, Bank of America. Current available balance is 50,000. Now he is depositing 12,000. Now see here, click on this green button. What amount he is passing or I am passing? 12,000. Now see here, what is the current balance? 50,000. What is the amount Gandhi is depositing? 12,000. 50,000 plus 12,000 is equals to 62,000. That data will be stored in a local variable called after deposit. Now, once the data is stored in local variable, I am displaying here. See the console? I am displaying here. After depositing 12,000, the updated balance is 62,000. Right, everyone? Saw this? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So when
Yes, sir.
this after deposit is got created, only when I call this deposit amount. Now, once the execution ends, that means the local variable is destroyed. Okay, right. Again, click on this green button. Now, account two details should display. Right. Of Priya customer. What is the current balance? 42,500. Okay. What she is performing or what method I am invoking on account to object? Withdraw amount. What is the amount I am passing? 2,500. So 42,000 minus 2,500. Now see here, withdraw amount. See the amount I am passing? 2,500. What is the current balance of Priya? 42,500. How much she is withdrawing? 2,500. So 42,000 minus 2,500, which is equals to 40,000. That value will be stored in the local variable called after withdrawal. Once I am clicking on this green button, it will come out of that method and the local variable after withdraw will be destroyed. Now click on this green button. See here, after withdrawal 2,500, your updated balance is 40,000. Now account 3 is of Ravi. Now click on this green button. Yes. So Ravi, Bangalore branch, Bangalore City, Bank of America, current balance is 72,000. How much amount he is depositing? 20,000. What method I am calling? Deposit amount. On which object I am calling? Account 3 object. Now click on this green button. See the amount I am passing? 20,000. What was his, what is his current balance? 72,000. How much amount he is depositing? 20,000. So 72,000 plus 20,000, which is equals to 92,000. That data will be stored in the variable called after deposit. Now, once I have clicked on this green button, the execution ends for that method and the local variable is destroyed. The after deposit variable is destroyed and you can see the value. After depositing 20,000, your updated balance is 92,000. So when the local variables are created, only when you call or invoke the method where it is declared and destroyed once the method executions ends. Clear everyone? Clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, pay special attention. Comment. Okay, I'll not comment it. I'll delete it. Okay. Otherwise, you will think why it is coming. Okay. Now, is Gandhi performing any operation or any functionality or any method?
No, sir.
No. Is Priya performing any, account 2 is performing or calling any method?
Yes, sir.
Account 2. Which method it is?
Withdraw.
Withdraw amount.
Withdraw amount. Okay. Third, account 3 object, is it invoking or calling any method?
No, sir.
No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now see the output. So for Gandhi, nothing should happen. It should display only the available balance. For Priya, it should be the updated balance. And for Ravi, it should be nothing. See here, current available balance is 50,000. So for Gandhi, neither the after withdraw variable has been created nor after deposit. Why? Because I have not called those method on account 1 object, correct? Right?
Yes, sir.
You can see this, right? But for account 2 object, I have invoked, I have called the method called withdraw amount. So that's the reason the local variable is created for account 2 object. Now for account 3, I have not invoked any method. Is it whether it's a deposit amount or withdraw amount? Since I have not invoked or I have not called any method where I have declared the local variable, that's the reason the local variable for Ravi is not created, neither for after deposit method nor for withdraw method. Am I clear, everyone? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So when the local variables are created, only when you call or invoke the method where the local variable is declared. If you are not calling, if you are not invoking that method, that means the local variable will not be get created. Am I clear with that point?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Right. Right. What is the next point?
The scope of the local variable will be within the class which it is declared or a method.
That's the only thing I have given.
The scope of the local variable exists only within the method in which it declined. It is tried to access outside the local variable when we get compile error.
Anybody please read for me? That is not I have given here.
The
If you are not
scope of
getting, yes, tell me.
the scope of local variable exists only within dead method in which it is declared. If we try to access the local variable outside that method, then will get compilation error.
Right. This is what I have given the notes, right? Right. Now, if you see here, after deposit, I have declared inside this method. So I can access this after deposit inside this method only, correct? Right, everyone? So I'm accessing after deposit at line number 59 inside this method. Now see what I'm doing. I'll copy this, okay? I'll copy this. Now, I'll try to access in some other method, okay? Let's say public void change pin. I'm just giving an example, okay? Change pin number. Right. So I have declared one method called change pin number. Okay. I will call this after deposit inside this method. See what you will get it, okay? See at line number 68, you got the red alert, right? Error, correct? After deposit cannot be resolved to a variable. Why it is not cannot be resolved to a variable? Because you have declared this variable inside the deposit amount and you're trying to access outside that method, correct?
Yes, sir.
Right? Which is not possible. Which is not possible. Wherever you have declared the local variable or in whichever method you have declared a local variable, you must access that variable inside that method only. If you try to access outside the method declaration, then you will get the compilation error. Am I clear with this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Perfect. Read for me the next point.
We cannot use any access specifier while declaring the local variable.
Perfect. Now, if you see here, line number 58, I am declaring a variable called after deposit, which is a local variable. Now, as I told you, we have 4 types of access specifiers: private, public, protected, default. Need not to worry. When I talk about encapsulation topic, I'm going to teach you all these types of access specifiers. Now, let me declare it, okay? You got the compilation error at line number 58? Right?
Yes, sir.
See here, illegal modifier for parameter after deposit. Only final is permitted. Now, what is final keyword? In what context you can use final keyword? I'm going to explain. Final can be used with respect to variable. Final can be used with respect to method. Final can be used with respect to class. Now, what are all these things? I'm going to teach you in coming session. Don't worry about that. Okay. Right. Private. You go for another public. Again, you got the compilation error. Go for protected. Protected. Again, you got the compilation error. Go for default. Again, you got the compilation error. That means whenever you are declaring a local variable, you should not use any kind of a access specifier. Am I clear? Am I clear with this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Any other point remaining?
Initialization of the local variable is mandatory before using it in the defined scope.
Right. Now, if you see here, at line number 58, double after deposit equals to the account balance plus the deposit amount. Correct? Right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now see what I am doing. I will remove this. That means I will not initialize it. Okay. Got the error? See, read the error. Read the error.
The
The
local
local variable after deposit may not have been initialized.
The local variable after deposit may not have been initialized. That means what I have told you, if you are declaring a local variable, it is mandatory to initialize the local variable. If you are not initializing the local variable, you will get the compilation error. Understood, everyone? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now see here, I will initialize the value for the local variable. This error will go. Error gone? Compilation error gone?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because I have initialized the local variable with some values like account balance plus deposit amount. So whenever you are declaring a local variable, you must initialize. You can initialize like 0 because it is double. If it is string, define it as a null. But you should initialize the local variable before using that in the defined scope. Am I clear with all the points and explanation on local
Yes, sir.
variable of local variable?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me recap whatever I have taught you in all these 3 days, and today is the 4th day. Okay. So I started with variable. Okay. I'm just stopping the sharing. Okay. I'm stopping. Right. So I have started with variable. What is variable? A variable is a container which holds the value while our program gets executed. In other words, a variable is a name given to the memory location where the actual data is stored. How to declare a variable? Access specifier, data type, and variable name. In Java, we have 3 different types of variables. Instance variable, static variable, local variable. Let's talk about instance variable. A variable which is declared inside the method, inside the class, but outside the method body or constructor is called as instance variable. Why it is called instance variable? The values will be instance specific and will not be shared with other instances, other object of the class. Yes. So in your project, if somebody tells you that you should not share the data with other customer, then you should declare those variables as a instance variable. Static variable. A variable which is declared with a static keyword. A variable which is declared with a static keyword is called as static variable. With static variable, you will have only single copy of that variable and will be shared, the value will be shared with all the objects, all the instance of the class. For example, yes, if 100 customer is having an account in HDFC Bank, all those 100 customer should see the same bank name as a HDFC Bank. That's the reason you have to declare that variable as a static variable. Yes, you can access the variable, static variable with object. Okay, yes, you can access the static variable with the object. But the best approach, the best way to access the static variable is through class name. Then I have discussed about local variable. A variable which is declared inside the method body or constructor is called as local variable. When it is created, only when we call or invoke that method where that variable is declared. Instance variables are created at the time of object creation with the help of new keyword. Static variables are created when you load the class. At the time of class loading, the static variables are created. Static variables are also called as class level variables. Am I clear with all these variables? Explanation with real time so that you can relate whatever I have discussed about all these variables. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Saturday, I am going to see your workspace. Make sure that you are working. If Saturday I don't see you are up to date, no more session from Monday. Okay, right. Now, that is all about your variables. If you are having any doubts, okay, reach out to iTask about the project setup, the workspace and everything. I'll sit with you for 1 hour. I'll set up the workspace. I will do everything. Then you can start the program. Saturday, if I don't see that you are not doing the programming, no more session. Right. Next, data type. Take a heading as data type. Data type. The next topic is data. This is very simple. Okay. I think you might have learned in your academic like BTech, MTech, MCA, BCA, BSc Computer Science, but still I want to discuss it. Okay. Data types. So close all. Right. Data types. So take heading as data type. The data type, data types, the data types specify the data type specify the different sizes and values data types specify the different sizes and values that can be stored in the variable data types specify the different sizes and values that can be stored in the variable full stop. There are two types of data types in Java. There are two types of data types in Java. Number one, primitive data type. There are two types of data types in Java. Number one, primitive data types. It is very simple. I mean, you might have read in your academic. Okay. The primitive data type includes int, the primitive data type include int, comma, boolean, comma, char, v small, char, comma, short, comma, long, comma, double, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, double, comma, byte, and float, and float. So there are 8 primitive data types we have in Java, which are these. So int, boolean, char, short, long, double, byte, and float. So there are 8, or to say, primitive data types we have in Java. Now I'll going to explain you in coming session. Don't worry about it. Okay, right. So this is number one type of data type. Second is your non-primitive data type. Data types. Number 2, non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types. The non-primitive data types includes classes, comma, interfaces, etc. Now, what is interface? What is class? I'm going to teach you. Don't worry about it. So, non-primitive data type includes classes, interfaces, arrays, and all those things. Okay. Non-primitive data types include classes. Non-primitive data type includes classes, comma, interfaces, arrays, etc. Right. Taken, everyone? Taken?
Sir.
Yes.
Now, as a developer, you should know this is a very basic. Okay, this is a very basic. Okay, I thought to skip this, but I don't want to skip that. Okay, it's a very basic. Okay, just take the chart and default value and default size of each of the data types. Okay, they will not ask you in this interview. Okay, they'll directly see. Gone are the days in the interview. They're going to ask what is data type, what is class, what is interface. No. Directly they will jump into the project and they'll ask you, okay, you know abstraction, fine. Where you have used in your project. Finish. If you are really a working professional, then only you will be able to answer that question. Or else, if you have got a real-time training, then only you will be able to or would be able to answer that question. Everyone knows what is abstract class. A class which is declared with the abstract keyword is called abstract class. Okay. Even a fresher will give the same definition. But if I ask you why you are going to use abstract class in your project, where you have used abstract class, when we should use abstract class, then understanding my point, everyone? Understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If I talk about interface, yes, you will mug up the definition. Interface is a prototype of a class. In interface, all the methods are by default public and abstract. Even a 6th standard student will mug up that definition. You as a developer, if you are having an experience, if I ask you, okay, you know interface, tell me why you should use interface, where you should use interface, and in your project, where you have implemented the interface. What is the need of interface in your project? Only the people who are having a real-time example will be able to answer that question with respect to the project. If you don't know, see, definition anybody can mug up. It's not a big deal. Even if I give the definition to a 5th standard student, he will mug up the definition, he will answer it. But you are going to be a Java developer. So you should know why the interface is used, where I have to use the interface, why I have to use the interface, when I have to use the interface with respect to the project, then only you can easily able to answer that question. Otherwise, if you are giving the definition, gone. If you are putting experience or something like that, you are gone. Okay, right. So this is not required. Okay, let me be very honest. This is not required, but just for your purpose. Okay, as many of you are fresher and they don't know how to and what are the different default values and different size of the data types, I'm giving you that. Okay, right. So let me just give it. So data type, okay, default value, and size, default size. Right. Now, the first data type is int. Okay. What is the default value? 0. What is the default size? 4 byte. Okay. Right. So next is your Boolean. What is the default value? False. And what is the default size? 1 bit. 1 bit. Next, you have float or char, whatever it is. Okay. Char. So it is undefined. Okay, let me be very honest. It is undefined. Something like this you will get. So 4 zeros. Okay, something like this you will get. Okay, right. And the default size is for char is 2 byte. 2 bytes. Then you have short. So for short, the default size is 0. Okay, and the default size of short is 2 bytes. 2 bytes, whatever. Okay, right. Then we have long. So default value is 0L. Okay, and for long it is 8 bytes. Okay, then we have float. Float. So for float, the default value is 0. Okay, 0.0f. Okay, and this is 4 byte. And then we have double. Double. So the default value is 0.0d and it is of 8 byte. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What I have missed? Anything I have missed? Byte. Byte I have missed, right? So byte. So byte, byte. Okay. The default value is 0 and the size is 1 byte. 1 byte. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are the 8 different primitive data types we have. And these are the default values of all this data type. And these are the default size of each of the data type. Now, for each of the primitive data type, we have something called wrapper class object. We have something called wrapper class object. Now, what is wrapper class object? I'll go to take in the coming session. Don't worry. Taken, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. Now, I'll continue tomorrow. Okay. How we can use these data types. Okay. Remember one thing only. What is data type? Data type represent what type and what size of the data you're going to store in that variable. Correct? As per the definition. Right, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So tomorrow in tomorrow's session, I'm going to show you, okay, all these 8 types of data types. First, I will not initialize the values. Okay, first I will not initialize the variable with the values for that data type. We will see the default value first. Then we'll initialize with some value so that you'll come to know why this data type is used. As per the definition, what I have told you, data type specifies what type and what size of data you can store in the variable. So tomorrow I'm going to give you one example with real-time example. I'm going to give you the different data types, 8 primitive data types, how we can use, what values we can save in those types of variables with that data types. Am I clear, everyone? Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And guys, please try to join on time. I mean, people are joining on 8, 10, 8:15. Okay. So make sure that the session is at 8. So make sure that you are joining at 8. Okay. So, and on Saturday, please be ready with your workspace. Okay. If not, tell me now itself, sir, I have not started working on the program. I'll accept it. But on Saturday, if you give me some excuses, some lame excuses, I'm not going to take that. Tell me now itself, no, sir, I have not started. Agree. I'm not going to tell you anything. But if I tell you on Saturday to share your screen and show me the workspace, and at that time, if I see that you have not started the programming, I'll stop the recording. I'll blast you like anything. Then I'll stop the training. Okay, tell me very honestly. Tell me very honestly. I don't care, okay? Veera, Gandhi, Bhargavi, Likita, Nagaraju, Ramana, Umesh, Venkatesh, Vijay. I have taught all these variables, okay? You might have attended some other institute as well. I'm sure. I'm damn sure. Because people will only look for free sessions, okay? You might have definitely attended some other training institute demo sessions. Did you get this kind of a training on variable?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Did you get my explanation, my way of programming anywhere in Google or YouTube?
No.
No, sir.
No.
No.
Just check for instance variable. Definitely they might have used public class, some class, int A,
No,
int
sir.
B, or int X, int Y, correct? Right?
Sir.
Not only for instance variable, same goes with static variable, same goes with the local variable. If you go with that kind of a training to the interview, okay, then the chances of you getting selected is very less, okay? So make sure if you are really interested to learn the real-time technology, you talk to the admin of iTask, okay? Thank you very much. Let's meet tomorrow morning, same time, 8 a.m. I'll start with data type with real-time example. Then the most important topic is class. What is class? What is the use of class? Why we should use the class with respect to real time? I'm going to teach you in tomorrow's session. Okay. So make sure you are joining tomorrow at sharp 8 a.m. We'll continue with the data type, very basic program with real time, and then I'll go for class in Java. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Join at 8 a.m. here. Be on time. Okay. Bye. Bye.